Nick had a great segue into this name drop in different teams. And we're going to go with contenders and pretenders because in every sport, especially in baseball, you have teams that have a great first half, but tail off in the second half. And we want to know who are the real contenders out there and who are the fake and phony pretenders. So I've got a list of 8 teams. I'm going to name them off. I'll go first. Nick, you chime in right after, and we're going to have fun with it.
Let's do it, man.
All right. AL East zone and rival New York Yankees. They're currently 49 and 42. They're 4th in the East. They're a game behind, I believe, for the last wild card spot. You know what, man? I'm going to say they're contenders. I know Judge is out, but it's the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
They can go out. They're that few teams out there like the Padres and the Red Sox that can go out and just make a trade and everything is better.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm saying contenders as well. You can never count out the Yankees, and we've seen it in previous years, 2021, last year. So, yeah, I definitely think they're contenders, and especially if all their players that are injured come back, AL East is going to be even scarier again, and that sucks for a Jays fan. But
it does, especially if Jeter kind of put this out there. If the Padres continue to struggle, pursuing Juan Soto.
Go fuck yourself, Jeter. Seriously, I love you, but and the thing is that Soto would do that too.
100%. Soto,
he's like a Kevin Durant. He team hops, bro.
He looks like a Yankee. I actually thought the Yankees were going to land him last year, but
I said it's either going to be the Yankees, LA, or San Diego, and he went to San Diego. So, but San Diego was like my last resort team that he would go to.
All right, next on the list, a pretty shocking surprise. The Miami Marlins. They are 53 and 39. They're 2nd in the East, and they have the first wild card spot. This team is quite puzzling, and I never saw this coming, but I'm going to say they're contenders with the struggles of the rest of the NL East. I think they're contenders. They're a fun team. They're 3rd in hits, they're 3rd in batting average, and they're 4th in strikeouts. So I think this team can contend for a wild card spot.
Okay, when we say contenders,
playoff contender.
Playoff. So now, we're saying like not World Series champions.
No. This is just strictly playoff contention.
Okay, then I'll say contenders. At first, I was gonna say pretenders because I'm like, there's no way Miami's gonna win. But yeah, I definitely see them go to the playoffs again. So, and especially I think they have. Oh yeah, they have Luis Arias. That guy's insane, man. Mm-hmm. He was hitting in the game too.
Yep, beast, man.
And he's honestly a sleeper to me because I remember him on the Twins, but then I checked his stats. I'm like, he was putting up almost the same numbers.
He was a beast with the Twins. The difference is the Twins needed pitching.
Yeah,
that's why they made that deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so I'll go with contenders on that one too. Then
I like it. All right, everyone's favorite cheating team, the Houston Astros. They're 50 and 41. They're 2nd in the West. They have the 2nd wild card spot. Because I hate Houston, fuck you, I'm calling you pretenders. They have a ton of injuries. Brantley, Altuve, McCullers Jr., Alvarez. Altuve is coming back, and he's like on the 10-day disabled list. But everyone else is on like the 60-day disabled list. I think they're falling apart. They're showing their age. I'm calling them pretenders. They're going to fall off.
Oh, man. See, I didn't even know all those stats that you just threw out about them. But I'll go opposite with you. I'll go contenders just because even when Houston's bad, man, when it comes to playoff time, they're a different team because they've been there.
Yeah.
Right? They've been there, and we can't even beat them. Like, it's hard for us to beat them still. So it's just the history that they have and that they've been there. And I know how it is. Once you've been there, you have an advantage over everyone, like compared to a team that's never been there, you know, even if the team's better. So I think they're still contenders to me.
Do they catch the Rangers?
No, because Rangers is just going to add on to their team at the deadline.
Oh, yeah, they have stupid.
So,
money.
And if you don't, you're stupid. Like what? That's what every team's going to do.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. All right. We talked about this team like 2 shakes ago. The Cincinnati Reds. They're 50-41. They're first in the Central. And my God, that division is crap. I'm going to say they're contenders just because that division is crap. And they have the most fun player and arguably maybe the best player in the division with Eli De La Cruz.
Yeah. Shit. You know what? I was going to say Pretenders, and then I realized that they're in the Central.
Yep.
So that made me put it to Contenders. I was going to say Pretenders because I've seen teams like this where they're heating up, the chemistry's going, and then they just crash. And this is what happened with the San Diego Padres a couple years ago. Going to basketball, this is what happened to the Brooklyn Nets when they had that chemistry going. So that's what I feel from that. But then you realize that they're in the AL Central, and the AL Central's dog shit. So I see them going to the playoffs. They're not going to win the World Series, but yeah, they'll go to the playoffs.
Okay,
they just got to keep it going. Like if they start slowing down like how all those other teams did, then Pretenders. And I can't even say who's going to go into the playoffs in the Central. Like,
well, they have to. One thing, the GM can't be afraid to add because he's used to selling. You can't be afraid to sell off some some prospects to get some good players because you can't punish this team for being good. Yeah, sometimes that just happens. So reward them so they can make the playoffs and don't let the Brewers catch them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Brewers. Forgot about them.
Arizona D-backs, the team you're going to see. Second in the West, second wildcard spot. To me, I've seen enough this season. They are playoff contenders. They fleeced the Jays in that trade. I don't care what anybody says. They have one of the best young outfielders in Corbin Carroll. And he's just only getting better. Gurriel Jr. is playing on a contract year, so that's huge motivation.
Yeah.
And they're third in slugging, so this team can hit. I think they're going to punch their way into the playoffs.
They also have a Cy Young candidate in Zach Gallen, too. I forgot about him. And he was a starter of the NL game yesterday.
There you go.
So, oh my God. See, this one actually got me. I don't know. Literally this Friday is my first time seeing any highlights of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So this is literally my first time seeing them. Just given that the division that they're in, just because I've been saying Contenders a lot too, I'm not doubting the Diamondbacks, even though I'm going to say that they're Pretenders here. It's more so just because they're in the division with the LA Dodgers.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
There's also wild card too, right? But yeah. I don't know. That's the only thing that's pulling me back. Because again, the Dodgers have been there. They know what it's like. Once you've been there before and you're in that spot, you have the advantage over any other team. So,
yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, experience says it all.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about a bad division earlier. This is by far the worst division in baseball. We're talking the AL Central and the lone team on top, the Cleveland Guardians, which isn't saying much. They're 45-45. Nick, this team and the entire division are all pretenders.
Yeah, 100%.
Division in football or in baseball.
Yeah. Pretenders. Josh Naylor, I like you. He went to my rival high school, literally down the street. He's neighbors with my girlfriend. So but yeah, man, like I don't see anything from Cleveland at all. I'm gonna go Pretenders as well.
No, and it's a smack in the face of the rest of the league because you got the AL East, you got the NL West, you got the NL East, all the other divisions that are fairly stacked, and then you have the AL Central, which is dog shit.
Yeah, agreed. Guardian, and then not really much to say, honestly, just because they're just shit. So. Pretenders. That's all I'm going to say.
Milwaukee Brewers, 49-42, second in the Central. I believe they're a game out of a wild card spot, a game or two out. I think they're pretenders. I think they have struggled mightily. They've underperformed. Corbin Burns doesn't look like the dominating pitcher that he normally is. He's 7-5, which is cool. 3.94 ERA. He's getting his strikeouts, but I don't see anything else from the rest of the team. They're getting older. They need a lot of pitching. I think they're going to fall off and they're pretenders.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that too, just because I feel like they had their peak in those years with Yelich and like his prime. He still could be, but that's when Yelich was hitting like 42 bombs in a season. I think that was the time to do it, and they're just going downhill from here. Their best hitter and like Rowdy Tellez is like, I think he's hurt. He is hurt. Yeah, it's not looking good. And I don't remember when we played them, but did we win the series or lose the series?
I think it was only a 2-game series. It might have been a split.
Okay.
Or we swept them. Or I'm pretty sure we either swept them or it was a split. Yeah. But I'm not impressed by them.
Yeah, me either. And I don't know. It's they're not catching my eye. If you're not catching my eye too, then I feel like you're doing nothing, right? Yeah, whereas, for example, Cincinnati, they're catching my eye with Ellie. Yanks, you pay attention just because they're in our division. So yeah, pretenders for the Milwaukee Brewers, not Bucks.
Yeah, we don't even care about their name. All right, last but not least, the hometown team, the Toronto Blue Jays, 50-41, third in the AL East. They have the last wild card spot in the AL. I know I said they weren't going to make the playoffs, but I think my mind has changed. I'm calling them contenders. They're 6th in hits. They're 5th in WHIP. They're 9th in ERA. They're 12th in hits. They're tied for 6th in runs. I think they just need another right-handed bat. A power bat that can score with runners in scoring or hit with runners in scoring position. I think if they do that at the deadline and address the bullpen and maybe get another starter, I think they can do some serious damage. I'm calling them contenders.
So I'll say contenders just because they're my team. I gotta say contenders. It's super hard because of the division we're in. Like at any moment, Boston can catch fire and all of a sudden be in third place too.
I think Boston's done.
You think they're done?
I think they're done. They peaked early when they kicked the shit out of us.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they've ever since they swept us, they've gone downhill.
I hope so. I swear to God, they only catch fire after they sweep us every time. So you never know, right? We still have to. I think we have another series against them, but yeah, I'll say contenders. I do think a couple things. You mentioned it about the deadline. So I think they're honestly kind of set on bats. I really think they only need just one big arm in the bullpen, like another big arm in the bullpen. I don't think you need another starter because if you have Manoah back, and hopefully he stays the same way, you're kind of set on starters. And then hopefully even if it doesn't work out, I think Ryu had a minor league game and looked good too. Again, you can't rely heavily on it, but my point is that with the depth of starters that we have, and especially that they're supposed to be coming back in the second half. So that's the only reason why I think you shouldn't. The only reason why I say like a big arm in the bullpen is because I can't trust Romano right now. We said it in the last episode, the guy fucking had back tightness yesterday. He's blown some leads, even though the amount of saves that he's had. And then so that leaves you with like Swanson Dinner and Nate Pearson, right?
And Tim Meza. But again, these are guys that I can't fully put my trust in, especially after seeing them lose 8-1 to the Seattle Mariners in the wild card game. You know what I mean? So they need to make a big splash. And again, it's going to be hard because when a lot of players that play this game are American, they don't want to come to Canada. Mm-hmm. Especially the AL East. If the Yankees offer them, that's every kid's dream to play with the Yankees if you're from the US, right? So I really feel like, and especially how everything is aligned in the AL East with teams, like with Baltimore being good, Tampa's good, Yanks are up there, we're up there. If you're a player and you're American especially, Blue Jays is like your last team you would go to, in my opinion, right? But then again, we're talking about trades here. But still, that's just how it is. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, they don't have a choice but the trades. But to answer the question of the segment, yeah, they're contenders, in my opinion. I hope so. I believe in this team. So let's go with contenders.
Okay. Good answer.
It'd be bad if I said no or not. But
I mean, I wouldn't hate on the realism.
Yeah, the realism of it, yeah, but
you got to look at the facts. You got to look at the team itself. I'm a little more encouraged seeing the 6 games before the All-Star break, and Vladdy winning the home run derby, I saw a lot of smiles. I saw a lot of fun. I saw a lot of less stress and less tense expressions and emotions. So I think they're on the right path to going on a run.
I will say, though, about Vladdy's performance at the Derby, someone pointed this out on Twitter, and it was kind of true, but his swing looks like it looked pretty inconsistent during that Derby. Like, it looked like it was, if you looked at his 2019 home run Derby, it was way different from this Derby, you know? And I get he was younger, but they were saying his swing mechanics are just in shambles right now. Like, you can tell it was kind of different. So, he still won. So, can't complain about that.
A dub's a dub, man.
A dub's a dub. A win is a win. A win is a win.